Good day, everybody. Rob from Expedition Team Overland here in Hancock, New York. We are here starting the Northeast BDR. Jam-packed schedule for the next 4 days. 3 days on the trail, and then we have a real long drive back on the last day. There's not a lot of public land here in New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts, so we did have to plan out a couple campgrounds. We have campgrounds planned out in New York and Massachusetts, and then once we get up into Vermont, we're in the National Forest, we'll just be looking for primitive campsites up there. But here we are, just starting out here in like I said, in Hancock. Beautiful little village. They take their pride in the beginning of the Delaware River. It seems like a lot of Delaware River themed outdoor shops and a hotel. So let's get on the trail and get going to Northeast BDR 2025. Alright, right as we get outside of Hancock, we just crossed into Pennsylvania as we crossed the little Delaware River, or the west branch of the West Delaware River, and straight onto dirt roads. So nice to be on dirt right away. Alright, so we're only 13 miles into the trail. That dirt road turned into this even more narrow dirt road. Got this Widowmaker here. I think I'm just gonna barely fit. Alright, so earlier this week there was a massive storm that came through the mid-Atlantic all the way from Washington DC up to Boston, and this looks like this might have been a fresh tree that was down. The leaves are still green on the side. There was a ATV here, so I didn't get the cameras out because they're already starting working, trying to figure out a plan on working it from the other side. We had to do a bunch of cuts, got to use the chainsaw for the first time to get it going. So it took the two of us to do it. We had to cut from both sides because the bar isn't that big on the chainsaw I have, but teamwork makes the dream work. So they said there's a lot of trees down on the sides of the trail going forward, but nothing over it. But this might be something we're seeing for a little bit today and tomorrow. So this trail is definitely a lot more difficult than the Pennsylvania BDR. That's mostly forest roads, but I think this is a rail to trail. I think this was a railroad at one point. So, see what the rest of the road's like. Alright, we're here on this like shelf road. There was a closed road sign on it, but it looks like they've been doing some road maintenance to this, so we might have to be turning around pretty close to the other end of the road. Beautiful shelf road, just past a huge waterfall. Couldn't really see much of it. This is really cool. Road definitely took a beating, which is over years, or this last storm, I think it's over years, because they definitely couldn't get this work done this fast. But really cool shelf road. Not really sure what this road is called. I'll have it in the notes on my Gaia, but it's a really cool shelf road. It's a mix of paved and dirt, and it looks like there's been some logging back up behind us, and there's been a bunch of cabins on here. Beautiful, beautiful, fun road. Alright, so we're back on another Here, there was a sign when this started. It said no winter maintenance, and there's definitely no maintenance ever done to this road. So definitely a new track. But it's this is pretty cool. We're following a river. I can't really see what river we're following. I don't know if it's the Delaware River or what. But this is, yeah, we're not making the time. There was some sections of the road that were pretty, you know, just dirt roads, but there's more of this that I'm not really used to on these BDRs on the East Coast, so I think we're in for something. Stop and get the photo here of this beautiful waterfall. Good morning from camp. I had to cut off a couple sections yesterday. TJ's with me right back there. And timing was we're getting a little tight on time with getting into camp and getting dinner and all that type of stuff. So I cut off two little sections. We're going to cut off a loop today. We have about 150 to 180 miles, we think, to get to our next campground. We're going to be staying at the North-South Campground. It's a state park here in New York. So we're not sure what the road conditions are going to be like. If it's anything like yesterday, you know, was some more difficult roads than I was expecting for at least for timing. But we're just here at a regular campground. Nothing really special to show. So that's why I didn't get the cameras out last night. It's just a regular campground. So hopefully tonight we'll be able to get you guys some dinner stuff and like that. But we're hitting the road. Alright, we're back on the dirt. We're in a state forest here. There's only 643 acres, the sign said, but definitely an unmaintained road. Not a lot of traffic on it. You can definitely tell a lot of low limbs. Alright, so we're 20 or so miles into section 2 now. For the viewing audience, there is almost zero Verizon cell phone coverage in any of these towns. So if you have, I can't speak for AT&T, T-Mobile, and the other network providers, but there is zero. Every once in a while on a hill you'll get a little bit of a signal and a couple text messages will come through, but zero cell phone coverage. So just pulled off here for a sec. The road, it's a very big mix of roads. There are some sections of the highways, but then we run into these unmaintained, somewhat paved roads to these dirt roads to the more technical stuff. So here we have another seasonal limited maintenance, which from what I saw yesterday, I was on one of these roads and it was zero maintenance. It was completely, low limbs and stuff like that. So we'll see. This is a far. I will say that so far this route is far more technical than what we saw on the Pennsylvania BDRs that I've done, and it's a lot of fun. Very challenging. So we're hoping to make it. We got about I think the campground today is 150 miles into section 2 is where we're staying at. So we're hoping to get there before 5 o'clock today. I'm thinking closer to 3 or 4 o'clock. Alright, so it's this trout hatchery here. We got a bunch of trout here. Looks like rainbow trout, but I'm not sure. It's pretty cool. We got these little pens. Looks like there's a bunch of them jumping over here. Not so much in this one. A whole bunch of them. Probably a dozen or so of these U-shaped pens. They're all blocked off here with this little, like, dams. Fun things you see. Small town America. Stopped here at this little cafe gas station. We're in Flushing, New York. Cool little village. It's really cool to see the old school pumps going on. They got the new pumps over there that still have to install. So quite little village here. Really good deli. Alright, so we are on section 2, alternate harder route CR3. This is just a little trail update. This is not anything hard. It might be hard for a motorcycle going. It was a real long downgrade on gravel or loose rock. We just threw our Jeeps in 4-low, 3rd gear, and just let the engine do all the braking. There's been significantly more harder sections to this other than this harder alternate route. So still super excited for this whole BDR. Great route, but just an update on this one section that is labeled as alternate difficult. It is nothing but. So we're back actually on paved roads. There's just maybe this alternate section is 9 miles long. We were on it for maybe less than a mile or so, but we are having an absolute blast so far on this trip, and more to come. So we're back on dirt again. We're still on that alternate harder route section. This is literally the last mile or so of it. So I'd say for this whole trip, we're on paved roads, well-groomed dirt roads, then something like this, which is, you're averaging about 10 miles an hour, and it's loose stone, loose rock, well-groomed, well-sided, like there's not a lot of down limbs, and then you have the more, I would say even the harder sections where streams and rivers are taking over the road. There's zero maintenance done on it, as you have, limbs and small trees that have been hanging on these, hanging over here for years, not just 1 year, not cleaning it up. So, the only times I've been in four-wheel drive is just on the long grades down. I'm doing that just to use the engine braking. Put it in 4-low, 3rd gear, and just let the engine brakes. I don't have to use my brakes. Alright, so now we're coming down the hill. When we were going up this, it was, I had my ankle on and it was showing about 10 degrees, and now max I've seen so far is about 12 degrees down, averaging probably 9 to 10. It's a pretty good grade. I'm back in 4 low right now, letting the engine doing all the braking. I'm in second gear. One thing I was a little nervous when we started this more advanced section, especially this section, which obviously it's not as traveled, is down trees. There was, as I said the other day, there was a major storm that rolled through here earlier this week, and definitely some trees down. There are some stuff that is freshly cut. I don't know how fresh. Alright, so we're up here on a loop off of one of the state paved roads, state highways. Bunch of snowmobiles. There must be heavy snowmobiles up here. There's signs about snowmobiles. You can't park, you know, on the side of the road for snowmobiles. But started out as just a regular paved gravel road, but now it's deteriorating a little bit onto these dirt roads. Alright, we're still on that loop. This is where the road is definitely getting a little bit more deteriorated. Less traffic's coming up here. Weeds and grass and limbs are definitely more overhanging. As you see, there's a lot of washout from like heavy rains. Alright, so we're at the Blenheim covered bridge. It is the longest single span covered bridge in its time. It was built in 1855. You had to pay a $5 toll to get over it. This is a recreation of it. It was swept away during Hurricane Irene in August of 2011. And you see here, that water is very, very far away. So for it to have to rise that high, that's a lot of water. But there was a lot of water with Irene. There was a lot of flooding with that hurricane. So obviously you can also tell this is rebuilt because they're using you know, steel bolts where it was probably used with wood pegs. Well, that was a successful day 2 on the Northeast BDR up here at the North-South Campground. It's a state-run state park here in New York. We're just on the west side of the Hudson River, so we'll be crossing over the Hudson River tomorrow. Really, really great day. Like I've been saying all day about the sections, varying in very different types of terrain. And we ran into 3 guys doing the BDR going the opposite direction. They were on their bikes and we chatted about the difficult sections, and they they concurred what I said about the difficult sections for motorbikes with the long grades with loose gravel. So I think that's why those are marked difficult, not in technical terms. But we are seeing the 5 different types of roads, I believe it is. We have the paved roads, paved with gravel, dirt roads, and then you have like these okay dirt roads that you just have to go a little bit slower on, and then the more difficult dirt roads that you're going about 5 miles an hour. The other ones you're doing about maybe 8 to 10 miles an hour on. But really awesome time. Seeing that covered bridge was really cool. Got some drone footage of that, so glad to get the drone up in the air. So we're just here at a regular campground. Nothing really much to show here. There's a bathhouse right next to us, which is real nice. We're gonna get some fresh showers, make some dinner tonight. My world famous stir fry is on the menu for tonight, so we're gonna get that all up and running. So we're gonna relax for a little bit, but it was a great day. We did about 160 miles, I think it was the end of it. So tomorrow we're gonna get an early start. We got to get up to Mount Greylock, Massachusetts, is where our campground is for tomorrow. So get cooking for dinner. Good morning from the Hudson River Valley. We just crossed over the Hudson River. We'll be hitting up a little section of Massachusetts, then into Connecticut, then back into Massachusetts. We've changed up the plan a little bit for the trip. We're looking at the map and logistics for finishing this year and then starting next year. So we were gonna head up into southern Vermont and then do one more day into Vermont and then work our way home on Sunday. But getting back up to Vermont is not very easy, because we're gonna have to backtrack on the same road twice. So we're cutting this year's trip one day early, and the next year we'll have to add a day to it. So we're gonna be ending in Mount Greylock tonight. So we have a lot of highway miles, I think, today, and then in the morning, and then in the afternoon it should be a good mix of dirt and that. When looking at the Butler maps, we had a great night at the North-South campground. Very awesome campground. The shower house was good. Nice shower. And we just went down to the lake last night and just hung out there for a little bit. There's actually some cell coverage. Like I've been saying the whole trip, cell coverage is really spotty on this trip. It's really, for Verizon, there's almost none, and it's funny because you'll get a spot of it and then you'll lose it. We had it at the main gate at camp last night, and as soon as we got into the campground areas, we lost it. But then when we got to the lake, which is only 100 yards or so away, we had a strong signal. So. But hey, it's good to not be online and doing other stuff and just having a conversation. So there's something to be said about it. But downloading the maps and looking at stuff does make sense to have paper maps. So because we didn't have any data last night, we were able to pull out the Butler maps and get some, a little bit more intel. So let's get going with the rest of the day. It's so far been a really awesome trip. This is a really good BDR. I think they did a really good job at organizing it and putting together these roads with all the different types of roads that we've been on. So, see what today is. Alright, just finishing up the last couple sections, a couple miles here in New York. We're 46 miles in today, and majority of this has been on pavement. Not too bad at pavement. It's driving through these farms, back roads, cow paths. Here you have in typical New England. Absolutely beautiful views. So it's not a disservice for being on the pavement, because it's not major roads. In 1845, Lemuel Pompey II, a prominent gun manufacturer from Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and his sons established the Copake Iron Works here in the western edge of the Litchfield Iron District. The site was offered all the resources essential for iron manufacturing: dependable water power, high-quality iron ore deposits, limestone beds, and the extensive hardwood forests for charcoal production. The Pompeys constructed a charcoal-fired blast furnace, a refinery forge, a water pump-powered trip hammer mill, and a dam. They brought in immigrant labor and donated land and money to build a church. The Copake Iron Works soon became the nucleus of a thriving community served by the New York and Harlem Railroad. Frederick Miles purchased the Copake Iron Works in 1862, and in 1871 he and his sons rebuilt the furnace. Over the next 30 years, they added a large steam engine house, foundry shed, charcoal storage barns. In the late 1870s, they built an ironworks railroad to move raw materials around the complex and transport pig iron to the nearby New York and Harlem Railroad tracks. In the 1880s, charcoal iron production in Litchfield Iron District peaked as its high-quality pig iron was supplied to Northeast foundries. Operations at Copake's furnace ceased in 1903 when high-capacity coal-fired steel mills in the Midwest and South began producing comparable product at lower cost. The foundry's operation, however, continued for another 20 years, making specialty castings and plow bottoms for William Miles' Copake Plow Works. Alright, so we're just coming out here out of the Iron Works and saw this really awesome Safari Defender. Had to stop, get some pictures. Obviously has like the safari tent next to it. This is so cool. It's here at this bike shop. It's got kind of painted old school style. Really cool. Now in the video that was shown in the visitor center, this Depot Deli was the original train station for the Iron Works that they built. And then there is this rail trail here. You can see a railroad right away that you can now. Alright, so we just crossed into Connecticut. Right as we crossed into Connecticut, we went into this seasonal, unmaintained road for the winter time. All in Massachusetts, it was paved and gravel with a lot of houses on it. So still a beautiful ride. Today's absolutely beautiful. But we're here on a literally right as you crossed into Connecticut from Massachusetts. So we were in Massachusetts for a hot minute. Not sure what state forest we're in or what name of where we're at, but really cool. Alright, so we just crossed back into Massachusetts, and right at the state line, it was the road turned to dirt. Alright, so we're in York Lake State Park. Cool little 2-track. Nice little lake with a boat ramp and a little beach. nice. They had some campsites off this road. This is really, really awesome. Seems like there's also a snowmobile track. I'm seeing a lot of those signs for that as well. We're just driving through Lee, Massachusetts here. We parked the Jeeps, walked up and down Main Street just to stretch our legs. Nice little town. It's really cool how they've fixed it up, cleaned up all the buildings. A couple eateries. Very, very cute little town here in Western Mass. All right, just coming out of Lee, we're now in the October Mountain State Forest. Road is full of potholes, as you can see here. Yeah, so this road going up October Mountain State Forest, this is a rough road. It doesn't look bad at all, but it's just full of potholes and runoffs. You got a motorcycle coming up behind you. It's just very, very slow going. Alright, so there's a series of lakes from the southern part of October State Forest, and now we just got to the north part of those lakes, and now the road has turned into paved gravel. Private residence up here, now it's paved. So it's just that one section, probably 3 miles long, maybe. Mile to 3 miles long, maybe. I'll have to run the numbers on Gaia, but it was just annoying. I mean, I ran some harder roads on the first day, but that was just really annoying because you had to go real slow over the bumps because it just throws everything in the vehicles. So. Back out. I think we're gonna be in the state forest for quite a bit here. We only got 50 miles left to go to Mount Greylock, and then 25 miles round trip around up to the top of Mount Greylock and back, I think. So that's our plan. All right, back on dirt again. This is by far a better road. We're heading east now. That other road was going north-south. This is an east-west road. We're traveling east, and this is by far better. There's a couple potholes, but nothing. Those potholes had to be 6 inches deep, 3 inches deep, so pretty substantial. Really cool drive. We've been seeing a lot of hikers on this. I think there's one coming up right now. Yeah, just a lot of hikers, and we have been seeing a lot of motorbikes doing the BDR as well. So it's really exciting to see people doing the BDR. Talk to some of them, exchange my info with them so they can see the video when this finally drops. So. Alright, we think we're out of the state forest and the road has gotten significantly better. That was definitely challenging. Annoying, challenging, I don't know how to describe it. For an overland route, I think it's a little bit more on the harder side. If this was a rock crawling trip, that'd be on the easier side, I guess I could describe it. It seemed like a very small rock is how I would describe it. Any stock Jeep would be able to get through there. Even a stock Sahara. We haven't even gotten out of four. I'm still in. We can get out of 4 low. So, but now this road has just gotten into a little better. I just saw a Honda Pilot parked off to the side. Maybe not. I'll just leave it there. So, I guess TJ was in 4 low. He said we might have been doing it for the gearing, not for the technicality. Couldn't really get the camera out for that because so much shaking, but it was a challenge. All right, so we ended up on a road closure sign. It's 3:30. We're not sure how far the road is closed, so we just found a roundabout for it. So just in the interest of time, we're not going to scout out and see what the road closure was for. But we found so we're just taking this other road. This road actually looks in worse condition. The other one. Oh, I think this one's closed too. I think the bridge is out in front of you. All right, well, this is all part of the fun. There's another road that we can get on. That parallels this a little bit. Not really parallels, offsets it a little bit. It's all part of the fun. I mean, this is actually not bad for almost 400 miles. More than that. Yeah, about 400 miles. So this is the first road closure that we've actually had. And so we're doing pretty good. Good trip. All right, back on the BDR after our little side detour. It's interesting how these roads, there's a lot of residential on them. Even the ones that say no winter maintenance, there's still, I mean, they're not small houses, so it's kind of interesting. I've noticed that on this whole thing. This road is going back and forth between gravel and paved with stone chips on the top of it. Alright, so we're on the Mount Greylock excursion on the part of the BDR. I was really expecting this to all be paved roads. I'm not sure why I really didn't do much research on this excursion, but it's a really good dirt road. We're currently at 1,600 feet. The memorial at the top of Mount Greylock is at 3,400 feet, so we have quite a ways still to climb. 1,500 more feet. Still climb. One thing up here on the at the memorial, the AT, the Appalachian Trail, actually goes straight through here. So you got to climb up the side, come up the mountain here. And here's the AT signs for northbound. and the AT going southbound. Alright guys, well that is a wrap. We are at Mount Greylock here. We made it to the summit. Really cool drive up. It was hard to get some video. It's a very narrow 2-lane road the whole way up here. We stopped at the visitor center. Unfortunately, we missed it by about 15 minutes. It closed at 4 o'clock. But we had a fantastic trip. We're going to head down to camp. There is an off-road road that you can take down to get off the mountain. We'll see how we're doing on time, if that's something we're going to look into. But this is really awesome coming up here, seeing the monument inside. They have a really cool rotunda for the war memorial, and it's really cool to see to the east Mount Wachusett Mountain, ski hill I used to ski at when I was a kid. Really awesome views all the way around. So this is probably by far one of the best BDRs that we have done so far. We've done the Mid-Atlantic Pennsylvania one and the PA Wilds X. Those were really good trips, but this one was a lot more technical. They did a really great job making this up. So can't wait for next year to finish this up from Mount Greylock. We're going to head up. Next year's plan is to get through New Hampshire, I think, and parts of Maine, but that's for next year's plan to do. But this was a fantastic trip. Thanks for coming along with us on the ride. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye. Alright, so we're taking the Mount Greylock Road off-road trail down. So 7 miles, I think I saw it say. It parallels the main road, but it's actually closer to the campsite we're going to be at tonight, so it works out. Let's see how this goes. Man, that was a fantastic trail coming down Mount Greylock. 4 low, between 3rd and 4th gear. It was awesome. So much better than taking the main road. It was a very narrow road, but also I'd be going slower. I'd be in 2-wheel drive, but you know, probably 4th gear or something like that, just slowing everybody else up, even though the speed limit on that road is 25. But it was nice to get off-road one last time for the trip. Highly recommend it. Probably do it both ways if I were to do it again. The only thing is if you wanted to stop at the visitor center, you got to do that on the main road for all the vehicles. So, but this was that was a really cool ride. Really glad we did it.